So now we have a basic defense to the armbar from mount, or the armbar from the top side, I guess, really is what it is. So Dan's head's in this direction here. So we're gonna start out in our top side armbar finishing position. You're generally gonna get here from mount, so I guess you call it mounted armbar defense, but it's really just top side armbar defense from anywhere. So when I'm here, the first thing Dan wants to do is get his hands together, right? So once his hands are together here, I'm gonna have to fight in order to get the armbar, right? So eventually I'll get it. I'll come here, I'll break it, I'll do something like that, and eventually his hands will come apart, I'll get the armbar. So he can't just sit there. That alone, having his hands together, is not a competent armbar defense. So this first most basic armbar defense that works from really the low levels to the high levels as long as you catch it correctly is going to be called the high leg or the top leg defense. What Daniel's going to do here is he's going to get his hands into my top leg, right? And we'll show you how to catch it in transition also, but this is a basic way to practice it. From right here, he gets his hands inside my thigh and he just shoots his arms straight up, sort of like when he's defending the Americana. Once my leg is off his head like this, he's going to pick his head up and sort of put it on the inside of my leg. Boom, so my leg, if I try to bring it back over, I have to come through his head. But at the same time, he's going to be switching his hips and turning himself into me, and he's gonna end up on top of me. Most of the time he's gonna end up in my guard, so I'm still in a decent position, but I mean, I was almost finishing the armbar, and now he's in a position where if he's competent at opening the guard and escaping, he's on top and he's no longer getting submitted. So let's get back to that position one more time. Same thing, set your head over there. So I have Daniel in a topside armbar. I have his head pinned down, I have his body pinned down, he has his hands together defensively. If I'm just here and I keep him flat, eventually I win this. So what Daniel's gonna do is put his hands on my upper thigh, he's gonna shoot his arms straight up, take the leg off, put his head on top of my thigh, so if I try to bring it back, I gotta swing super wide, and he just beats me by switching his hips, and as I try to bring it back, he brings himself back in here, got both his hands in, so the triangle's not really there. You're gonna set up where if one arm went in, one arm went out, you're gonna have the triangle, but since his hands are together, it's not possible, and he's back into guard right here. Let's hit this kind of in transition. So let's be on the same side again for this one. So if I'm right here, you don't have to wait for the guy to set into the armbar from there. You can be sort of where you're right here, and as I go to throw my top leg over, Daniel catches my leg as it comes over, shoots his hands up high, and then as I sit down, he rolls into me. And it's a pretty smooth escape. If you're the one who's attacking the armbar, this is super, super frustrating. Like borderline infuriating when someone hits this on you. You get to mount, which is a difficult position you can get to. You get to a good mount, you set up your armbar, and as soon as you fall back for it, the guy just comes on top of you and you're on bottom side guard at best. It's infuriating because it works so well. I'm a black belt, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time, and guys will still regularly hit this on me if they're very good at this escape. Guys from a much lower level than me. The defense of this move, if you hit it at the right time, I believe is stronger than the offense of most people's arm bars unless they're really good at them. So it's a very, very good defense. Let's do one with your head facing towards the camera, just so people can see a different angle. So from set in right here, Dan's got his hands together as his first line of defense, puts his hands in my thigh, shoots his hands up, brings his head on top of my thigh, and then starts switching his hips into me. So from where you're set into the armbar already, you're gonna have to fight a little bit probably, but if we hit it in transition, let's say position, head facing the camera. See over just a little bit. So from right here, I have high knee, low leg, hand here. Dan has his hands together. As I start bringing this leg over, Dan gets his hands into my thigh and hits it as I sit back. This just absolutely sucks. He comes up on top of me, and if you hit it in transition, you almost have no chance to counter the defense aside from going to a guard position. If you're really good from guard, maybe it's not terrible, but you're definitely losing the armbar that you fought hard for.